Another industry that's on the rise right now is utility electric. Let's take a look at what stocks are moving that industry. The next story is about another fast-moving industry, which is called utility electric. All right. Normally what happens no matter what the markets do, utilities tend to always do well. Why? Because we need them. We need the electric, as you see in this picture, to run the electricity in our houses. We need gas for those of you who are on gas appliances. Utilities, for the most part, tend to do well. And I did the same analysis on the RT Delta of industries. Utility electric was number 148 out of 221 industries. And the RT Delta over the last 2 weeks on utilities electric was over 14%. So I said, man, let's go see. And I found a news story on CMS with earnings per share, growth and more. CMS Energy is interesting. So as I looked at it, there was a lot of things that I liked about CMS Energy in what they do and how they do it. They were ahead of the curve in trying to get information out to their customers to help prevent or see what's going down with breakdowns and get in and get out of people being without electricity. If you believe the markets are even vaguely efficient, then over the long term, you'd expect a company's share price to follow its earnings per share. That makes earnings per share growth an attractive quality for any company. So let's do this. Let's get back into the software. Let's go find CMS. And I'm going to analyze it real quick. The stock is currently a little bit over its value. All right, that's fine. It is currently over its value. Upside potential. Relative value above 1. This is a stock that I wouldn't mind holding for the long term. Relative safety right at 1. This stock should, for the most part, meet or exceed its earnings expectation, and RT is above 1. The stock's in an uptrend. This company's got a positive earnings at 2.72 and grows their earnings at a clip of 17% a year. And it's a buy recommendation. So, also in this industry, I found XEL and LNT. All three of these stocks are in the same industry, which is utility electric. Let's analyze Xcel Energy. Currently trading over its value. It's got an upside potential above 1. Not nearly as good as CMS, but still a stock that I wouldn't mind holding long term. Its relative safety is above 1. So now this becomes more of a prudent stock that I wouldn't mind holding long term, and it is a safe stock, and it's going up in price. They grow their earnings at a clip of 12% a year, but a hold recommendation. LNT, slightly undervalued. I'm going to call that fairly valued. That's Alliant Energy. Upside potential is there. Safety is above 1, so it's favorable. Relative timing tells me that the stock is flat right now. It is also a hold recommendation, growing their earnings at a clip of 14%. Notice that some of the best earnings growth rates on the list happen to be from this industry. Now you'll understand why this is an industry on the rise. So we talk about what's trending in the market here on Trending Thursdays, but this is an industry that you may not have known is on the rise. And look at the quality of these stocks. Let's go take a look at their graphs. All right, let's start off with CMS. All right, over the last 3 months, nicely moving higher, a little bit of a sawtooth pattern, a little bit sideways right now. RT back and forth, above 1, below 1, above 1. And when you have a stock that's moving sideways, moving averages don't serve nearly as well. I'm going to add another indicator just to help you for stocks that are moving sideways. It's under technical analysis. I'm going to go to the stochastics oscillator. Stochastics oscillator will tell me when a stock is considered to be overbought or oversold. Let's go when stochastics is above 80. What did you just do? When stochastics is above 80, the stock is considered to be in overbought territory. And when it's below the value of 20, it's considered to be an oversold. And you know something? Here we go. Let's go make that a little darker so that you can see it. All right, there's your overbought scenario above 80. Here's your oversold scenario above 20. Now, when a stock starts moving sideways, how about saying, all right, the stock is an oversold scenario. Let's start thinking about shorting it or taking my money out of the trade. Look at the stock's price fall. Boom. Then it gets into oversold territory. All right, it's time to get in. Look for that 3/8 to cross. Boom. It gets in. It got into overbought territory again. Look at the price fall, but the 3/8 held, and right now the 3/8 is still holding. That is a better indicator to look at when a stock is moving sideways. But when a stock is moving down, like the 3/8 crossed bearish here, RT went below 1, that's a good indicator to get out or play it to the downside and to get back in. When the 3/8 cross along with RT going above 1, it's a good opportunity to get in. All right, so moving averages are good when a stock is trending. When the stock is not trending, an indicator like stochastics or RSI is a good way to help you to gauge getting in off of these levels of support and resistance. So that's CMS, XCel, all right, energy. I'm going to take off stochastics. Also moving a little bit in a sideways move. And the last one is LNT. Let's go put these on a 1-year graph. Man, LNT got beat due to COVID-19. It's trying to rebound. Xcel got beat during the COVID-19, trying to rebound. And last but not least, CMS got beat during COVID-19, trying to rebound. I'm telling you, though, that if you look at coming off of these lows, the stock is definitely starting to move off of these lows higher. Let's go to the next one. Off of these lows, higher. And go to the last one, off of these lows, higher. That's what I want to see. And I definitely want to see if these stocks, this is a little bit of a triangle. Look at that. All right, that's a little bit of a wedge. And notice that a wedge is a consolidation. Love to see if it could break to the upside of that. Any of these, that's not too wedgy. And that's not too edgy. All right, so CMS, the industry, though, that industry of utility electric is really on the move. All right, Joey, do I have any questions?
When do you look at the possibility of utility going the way of PG&E?
The question is, do I look at utility going the direction of the PG&E? I need to know more about what happened with PG&E. I'm not going to speculate unless I know what I'm talking about. I'm not exactly sure what happened with PG&E. You'll always hear me talk about the stuff that I know. The stuff that I don't know, I'm not afraid to tell you that I don't know.
What moving average crosses we should consider before buy, sell stocks?
The question is, what moving averages should you consider before you buy or sell a stock? Whatever's comfortable to you. Again, you'll see me present using the 3 and the 8 exponential moving averages. Whatever moving averages fit you. So you will not pigeonhole me into giving you a direct answer. I can show you what the 3/8 can do on a stock and what it consistently does on a stock. And again, when I look at your individual stocks, the 3 and the 8 will still do a good job on those individual stocks. But if you feel that that's a little too fast for you, slow it down. Go with a 5 and a 10 and a 20, a 20 and a 50. Whatever feels right for you. So my suggestion is you got to go with what feels right with you. But what I'm going to show in these presentations is the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average. Joey?
When we get a green, ready to buy, do we just buy the stocks with a buy, or is there a strategy to enter the trade? For example, pull back to 20 EMA.
The question is, so when we get a green light or a buy on the home page, do you just buy or do you wait for a pullback? Or listen, or do I just buy stocks that are buy recommended? You notice some of the stocks that made my stories today are not all buy recommendations. What I'm looking at is, from a technical standpoint on a 3-month graph, is it the opportunity to buy or not? So I'm not going to say that everybody needs to buy into a buy recommended stock. Now, let me back up a second. If you're brand new to the software, I would rather to put the possibilities and the probabilities on your side. I'd rather have you in a safe, undervalued stock that's rising in price in a rising market, which means I want you in a stock that's got a relative safety above 1. I want you in a stock that is now trading under its value. I want you in a stock that's rising where RT is above 1 and that the market is rising that day. Safe, undervalued stock rising in price in a rising market. That is the ideal situation for anybody who's brand new to the software. I am now lining up all of the probabilities to be on your side. Now, some of you may be a little bit more aggressive, and you may not want all of those factors to hit before you pull the trigger. So what am I looking for in that case? Well, if the stock is if it's overvalued, I'm okay with that. I really want a stock that's got an RT above 1. I'd rather buy into a rising stock. If you want to look at it graphically, look at your moving average crossovers. A lot of times a stock will cross in its moving averages before it's a buy recommendation. And then what happens is you leave a lot of money on the table. So there's a lot that's involved in understanding when to buy. You need to know what your goal is. Are you willing to be a little bit more aggressive on the trade? Look at RT. Look at moving average crossovers. Are you wanting to buy, but you don't want to put a lot of risk on the line? Then we'd rather you buy into a rising stock, safe, undervalued stock rising in price in a rising market. I hope that answers the question to everybody who's in this room. If you're a little bit more prudent, then use the market. Look at that color guard on the home page. If I've got all of that yellow, then I'm going to trickle into a couple of stocks right now. I'm not going to pull the trigger and go full bore. I want to make sure that I'm in a rising market, not a market that's giving me yellow lights. So the questions you're asking are great questions. What I will not be able to do is pinpoint and say, buy this right here, right now. Because everybody in this room invests a little differently, and VectorVest respects that and will help you depending on how you invest in the market and what your individual goals are. All right. I had to get on my soapbox to explain that. Now I got off my soapbox. Any other questions, Joey? Joey's got a scared face right now. He's like, oh my God, what did you just do to Glenn? And I'm just going to sit here and laugh at you because listen, I think that it's important. A great question, but I want everybody to understand that VectorVest is flexible enough to adjust to every type of investor that is in the market.